Hi, good morning and good evening to everyone. You're watching Mainframe tutorial. This is Kumar. Today's video, I would like to discuss about the JCL job control language session 4. In my last video, I was discussing about the keyword parameters at activity level and keyword parameters at job level. So in this video, we would discuss about keyword parameters at DD level. So what are the various keyword parameters we would be using at DD level? The first one is DD parameters, the next disp parameter, the next space parameter, and the last one is DCB parameter, which is data control block parameter. So DD parameter. So what are the keyword parameters we can use in this? The first one is a positional parameter, asterisk parameter at DD level used only with sysyn to pass data to COBOL program. This is known as in-stream data. Any number of records can be passed to the program. So this positional parameter is fixed to a fixed position where we can pass it through in-stream as an in-stream data. I hope I have shown this. How do we pass the data using in-stream parameter with the sysyn? So this is also used at activity level. So here in place of the DSN name, so what the parameter you're getting is sysyn dd star, and you would enter the records details. So that's it. So this is the way, this is the one of the way to use the DD parameter. And the next one is the DD DSN parameter. This is the keyword parameters at DD level. We can see the example how what are the parameters we can use at the DSN parameters. We have various set of keyword parameters which we use at the DSN. The first one, as usual, the job card, then the activity, then we are here. It's the DD parameter. So here I have a program name called report. So to this report, I need to match a physical file or a disk file where the program reads the data and writes it into the output. So DSN is equal to the file name. This is the physical sequential file, and I'm mentioning the parameters as unit equal to disk or tape. Okay, so this was about the DSN parameters. And what do we code in the COBOL program? In COBOL program, so you need to select the file name and assign it to the data set, and in the same way select the report output file name and assign it to the output the actual physical dataset name. So here this the logical, and this logical is pointed to the physical data sets. In the same way here, when we assign this syntax in the COBOL program, so it directly reroutes to this physical file and writes the data into the output. And the same is the case for the input. It reads the data from the input, process the program, finds the output, and stores the data into the output data sets. Okay, this parameter, this is used to identify the mode of the file, whether the disposition is the different things like the difference of parameters in this space: status, normal, and abnormal. So what are the different kinds of status we have? We have new, old, share, and mod. What is the importance of new? New is used for creating the new data set name, which is for the first time. Old, which is already created, accessing the datasets, all resources are allocated exclusively. No other than user can access until it is reserved by the current user. If dataset is not existing, this creates. So what happens is old. Old indicates that the dataset is already created and you want to make use of dataset exclusively. While you are accessing these datasets, no other user can access this dataset. Or if the dataset is not existing, it defaults creates the new dataset and acts as a new dataset, but no one can access the dataset here. Next, share. The dataset can be accessed by multiple users at a time. So if you want to share the data set you have created and multiple user want to access the same data set, or I mean they want to read the data set, you can simply make it as share. The data set can be accessed by multiple users at a time. Mod. So you have a data set created, you want to append the records into the existing file, so then you can go ahead and use of mod. It is mainly used for attending the records in the to the existing record. For example, I have a file name called report, no, input. So in this I have 1, 2 and 3 records. So if I want to append the 4th, 5th and 6th record, so I would mention the this parameters as mod, then it will append the 4th and 5th record without modifying the existing input data. So this is the importance of the mod, share, old, new. In the disk parameters, the first sub parameters under status. So next one is advanced. If dataset is not existing, the mod is assumed as new and writes the records to the datasets. It also acts the same like old. So when there is a no dataset is created, and it acts as a new dataset and creates a new dataset. Normal. The next one is normal. All the parameters of normal are active when the job executes successfully. So what are the activities we need to do when the dataset is created normally? So when it is created, delete, you can specify a different status like delete. Dataset is deleted when job executes successfully. Keep, it keeps datasets in the system but it doesn't create any reference in catalog. Catalog, when job terminates successfully, it is going to create an index by referencing namespace in volume label. This keeps datasets. So what happens here is when after creating a dataset into a particular storage area, there are a set of catalogs created for each data sets. So based on that catalog reference, so it extracts the data and reads the input from that particular data sets. So the catalog plays a very important. So it also indicates that it has occupied certain storage space which is permanent, I can say. Keep, so it won't catalog the data set but it keeps as a reference. So whenever you want to pass a large volume of data from one dataset to another dataset, most of the time we use keep. So in the same way, uncatalog, it resides in the system but it deletes volume label name from catalog like keep. Pass, to pass datasets to subsequent steps. These are the various important parameters under the normal. So what I need to do if it is abnormal? Delete. Same as usual. What are the activities within with when it is the normal? So delete, keeping system, catalog index, creating catalog, and catalog delete index from catalog. By default, the disk parameters will have new del. So it creates a data set when very if it is successfully executed, then it will delete. If it is abnormal, then it is also deletes the data sets. The next important parameter is space. This is a keyword parameters in DD operand can be coded anywhere after DD operand. So this is used to request the storage space for the dataset as per the requirement. The storage space is divided into primary and secondary for effective storage utilization. Release. This parameter is used to release the unused space upon the successful or unsuccessful termination of the job. Okay, so when I talk about the space, so we know that the spaces are in bits, bytes, kilobytes, megabytes, and we have different kinds of spaces, we all know. So whereas in mainframe terminology we would be talking about the storage in the form of cylinders, blocks, tracks and records. So you can just google what is cylinder, how much occupies, or what is equal to this bytes or kilobytes or megabytes, how much is equal to blocks, tracks and records. These are the different types of storage we would be using. Cylinder stands the highest volume, occupies the volume, and blocks, then next tracks, then next records. So in the same way, the as I said, it has the both primary and secondary memory allocated. This is the primary which is allocated to the dataset while creating. Secondary, this is the additional memory allocated in additional to the primary memory. Release releases the unused space when program terminates successfully or unsuccessfully. For example, space equal to track. I'm considering the storage space as track. The primary I'm allocating it as 10, and the secondary after 10 times in the same way I'm allocating 10. Then release the unused space data space in the program once the program terminates. This is very important. So in order to use the effective storage utilization, you need to have this mention. Storage really an important keyword parameter, so you need to be very cautious over here. So when you're working in the real time, so most of them uses the cylinders because of high volume processing, as we discussed when I told the mainframe is mainly used for high processing system. It is high processing system. It works with the high storage area. So it most of them uses the cylinders. Next one is next, and the important thing is data control block. This contains the following keyword parameters used to specify file attributes. LRECL, logical record length, and this we have a fixed record length and the variable length. Fixed in the sense the length of the record is fixed. For example, highs, if I say 100 as the length of the record, it is fixed. Sometimes the record might be varying. The first record might be 10, second record 20, 30, 40, and so on. The record is varying, so in that case we will be calling it as variable length record. On the same way, block size, when a block size is record length into 10 times. Record format, if it is a fixed, then we call it as a fixed byte. If it is a variable, then we call it as a variable byte. We can call it as FB or VB. These are the two different kinds of record formats, and we also have FBA. We also have FBA, and also we have VBA, and comma VBM, and we have these are the various different kinds of record formats we use in day-to-day real life. So here the simple syntax: record length, you need to mention LRECL equal to 100, and then you need to mention as record format, then you need to function record format equal to FB. Or what is the difference between the fixed block and the variable block? Fixed block is the fixed. If you are mentioning the 100, the internal storage it also keeps it as 100 bytes. Whereas for variable block, you need to consider as +4. If your maximum record length is 100, then you need to mention it as 100. I mean, it internally occupy. You need to give the length as 100 plus 4, that is 104. Extra is for byte allocation. So dataset organization, we have PS, PDS or PO. So partition organization and partition dataset. We can call PS or PO or PDS stands the same. PS is a physical sequential file, FBA fixed block attribute, VBA variable block attributes. So these are the different kinds of parameters, and in real time we will be coming across the two different kinds of data sets. One is physical sequential file, and another is partition dataset or partition organization. So when I say physical sequential file, it is a file which is just having a records, which has only a record. When I say physical partition data set, so in this you will have a set of members added into a single data set. For example, I have a data set called employee, and in that employee I have multiple student records. So I would be maintaining each members in that particular data set. In the same way, physical sequential file will refer to a single member or a separate data set. So we can discuss more thing when I talk about the IBM utilities. So we will discuss deeply about this, and it's very important and real time. So FBA, fixed block attribute, as I mentioned here, we have different kinds of record formats. In the same way, VBA, VBM. So the one more important thing attribute I want to mention is 1 byte attribute character. This is system defined. 0 indicates line, 1 indicates page. After creating a report, we will be creating some channels. The channels will be added at the first byte of the record or the output. It indicates the page break or page break on the printer. The record length of the printer, it should be 1 plus 32 133. Whenever you are creating a report format in the mainframe, your attribute should be mentioned as FBA. It means the fixed block attribute. So you need to add an extra 1 byte to make it as 133 byte. If your record length is 132, just you need to add it 1 plus 1 and 133. So while creating reports, it creates a channel 1, and when it is sent to print, it will be based on the after reading the channels, and it will break the page. So that is the importance. So in that case, you need to mention the parameters as FBA. So finally the DCB parameter is looks like this thing. Alrecal equal to 133, block size 133 into 10, record format equal to FBA, and data set organization is equal to PS. So that's it. This was about the keyword parameters at the DD level. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. So if you like this video, please subscribe this or comment it or like. So thank you for watching this video. Have a great and wonderful evening.